What's up, crew? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. I'm continuing on the trend of Bujin and Utopia content that I've been covering the last 2 weeks or so. I was trying to move on, but I just needed to try to make this work. So we got Bujin Utopia in one deck today. Essentially, it's the same Bujin lineup minus one Bujingi that you would normally play, or I would normally play at least. And then along with that, we've got the ZSZW package so that you can make use of the Leo Utopia Rays double monster negate, so long as everything goes well. Now, I think that could also see play just in a Bujin deck in general. I suppose you could take out Bice Steals that were in the previous deck profile just to play the one-ofs needed to make this happen. And so it would be cheaper at that point, as well as it's a lower card economy to produce this versus the F-Zeros. Now, there is some give and take. The F-Zeros require 6 cards to make. Essentially, you would need 2 materials for 1 Xyz monster, 2 Xyz monsters, that's 6. And then the 7th being Utopic Future, and then the 8th being Utopic Draco Future. So a much higher degree of commitment to make this. You get the steal and the negate, which is essentially 2 actions. This gets you 2 monster negates, which is 2 actions. The difference being you could accidentally shut down this whole playline if you were to draw the double or nothing, because now you can no longer Utopia double into the Leo Ray, meaning you have to play the one of Brick, which you don't need to play for this necessarily, apart from the Photon Sanctuary, but that doesn't actually make it so you can't make the F-Zero. It just means you don't have to make the Galaxy Photon Dragon to make the F-Zero. And unfortunately, the only way to combat that is to play the Dragonar, which also requires 1 additional one of Brick. It's not really a Brick because you can still use it even if you draw it. You don't have to search it off of the Ascended Sage, but it's very likely that you could draw it after a time that you can make use of it, which means it sucks. It's essentially useless outside of making the Dragonar and then using the Dragonar to make the Leo. I won't run through the details of the rest of the list here just because if you've seen either or both of the previous profiles, you've got an idea of what everything does. And so you can check those out if you want to know more. I can link them down below. But I'll show you a couple of the little play lines here that you get out of this. Very simple, very explosive. So now this does give you a 1-card combo, which alone would probably make it worth putting the Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray in just a regular Bujin deck. You would summon your Torifun, which is your standard play starter anyway in Bujins. Get your 2. We'll load up the graveyard, even though it doesn't really matter here because you're ending on a non-Utopia monster. We'll send our turtle. We're just building good habits, you know. You're going to make your double. Your double is going to detach 1 to search for the double or nothing. So we'll detach the hair. Once again, does not matter. In this instance, we won't have a Bujin on board to make use of. We'll make our Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, and then we'll use our Utopia Ray to equip the Twin Saber. And so now off of 1 card you have this quick effect negate of a monster effect on the board that also cuts its attack in half, and you have this monster negate in the back row that is not chainable to. So nice 1-card combo here for Bujins. I think that's fantastic. We also can still do our same 2-card or 1.5 card combo and having the Torifun plus any other Bujin. So we just doubled up on the Torifun here. And it runs the same way as F-Zero, but it leaves you with an additional body on board. 2 negates still. You do have the Ahashima on board to make use of anything you put in the graveyard. So say you wanted to set up a little control, well, you could put the Quill and Centipede in there. We'll go with the standard play because there is no opponent to worry about right now. But we'll use the Mahitatsu again. Dump another one. Turtle, always turtle. Right here we can make our Galaxy Photon Dragon. Overlay. Detach, we'll get our Photon Sanctuary, just burning through the one-ofs here. To the hand, of course. Activate Photon Sanctuary, we'll get our 2 tokens, and then our tokens are going to disappear right away. We won't use that effect. We don't want them to be level 8s, or don't need them to be. I guess you could make them that, but it doesn't matter. Hashima's effect, we'll get our 2 monsters from hand and grave, Torifun, and we'll leave the turtle just in case my no opponent tries to target me with something. Then you're going to overlay, so you can make the Utopia double here. Double's effect will search the double or nothing. And now it does kind of matter if you detach your Bujingis versus the other materials, because you will have the Ahashima on board that you can protect. We'll make our Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, we'll detach 1, and we will equip the Twin Saber once again. And so now your 2-card combo, instead of this being Ahashima pointing to an F-Zero, you now have Ahashima pointing to Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray equipped with Twin Saber, and then you also have the Galaxy Photon Dragon still on board. So if you had any additional extenders, you could probably also make an F-Zero if you fit all that into your extra deck. But I think once again, there's a give and a take here. With the F-Zero on board, you have a quick effect back row pop there too, so if they've set something or had a field spell and then activated a monster effect, you can detach from the F-Zero to steal it or just negate it if it's like a hand trap or something, and then still pop something on the board with the Ahashima. With this, Leo Utopia Ray doesn't have a quick effect that activates by detaching material, so it won't be able to trigger the Ahashima on your opponent's turn. The Photon Dragon also doesn't have a quick effect detach effect, and so you couldn't even like just change the order of your board here. And so you don't get this until it's back to your turn, but you do get the 2 negates, and this guy gives these a 500 attack point boost, and you can make use of whatever Bujingis are in your graveyard. So just kind of weighing out, depending on what you think is more valuable, that would be the difference maker there. For the last one here, we got a true 2-card combo with Ascended Sage, which we will be using first because you need that open board in order to special summon it for free, and then the Torifun to get those 2 additional bodies on board. We'll use that Torifun, get our Mahitatsu and our Bujingi. We'll just stick with the same ones. We do need to use the Mahitatsu effect this time around. We want this Torifun banished so the Amaterasu can potentially make use of it, and the Amaterasu is going to be sitting on the board. So we want the protections in the graveyard that we can get a hold of. So we'll make our Susan first. Susan's going to use the effect. We'll grab our rank up 4 Bujins, our Haruko, to the hand, and then right to the Pendulum Zone, and then right to the Banish Zone so we can get an Amaterasu. Haruko effect, rank up Susanoo, Amaterasu, and then Amaterasu is going to get us an extra body on the board. Detach whatever you want, does not matter. So now I'm going to say for sure leave the Torifun in the Banish Zone in this version of the play. We're then going to use our 2 bodies to make a Utopia. The Utopia is going to get the search off of the Ascended Sage for the rank up spell, so we'll get that. So now if you're playing extra targets in the extra deck, you would make the Prime and then rank up into the Dragonar, because then you can use that effect twice, which we are playing too. We're playing 38 in Utopia Leo, so we'll be sure to use that. We'll use our Dragonar to get our Utopia Leo, and now the rank up spell is going to let us attach it to the Leo as material so that we can use the Leo's effect right away to get the double monster negate. So we'll use that Leo and then equip the Twin Saber from the deck. And so now this would be your end board, and then when you pass turn, well, we'll just do it so I can show it instead of just saying it. If they, at any point they activate something that you can chain to, you would activate your Dragonar again, and you would be able to get your 38. And your 38 doesn't need material, but the material's in the graveyard if you want to attach it just to change attack direction. So I guess we'll do it because we can. So this would be the board you can essentially pass on, ignore the draw. You would be able to chain, make the 38, or something else, I suppose, if you wanted to play. Like, I really like the Buzz King. I think I might be getting one of those in Collector's Rare if it's a possibility. But this would be the board we're ending on, and then passing and ending on this, hopefully. So you got the 2 monster negates, you've got the dropping an attack to 0. This has the protections in the graveyard. It also has 2 different versions of its effect. So on your opponent's turn, we can detach to add the Torifun back to hand. So this is an unshuffled deck. You would be able to just recycle this to your hand and have a follow-up on your next turn. Or if you make it to the end phase, protect it with your other stuff. Then on your turn, you would just be able to detach to summon it right to the field and use its effect again to summon 2 more bodies, at which point you would have needed to put one of these in the extra monster zone, but you know, lots of different things that could go wrong here. So I think as far as a 2-card combo in Bujins goes, this has got to be like one of the most powerful ones that I've come across thus far, and so it makes me really tempted to play it this way just because this is pretty cool. I like it a lot, at which point you would probably be cutting the F-Zero. But hopefully that was a quick one for today. We'll see what happens when I get to editing it. If you got any other interesting little sub-engines or text for this type of a deck, let me know in the comments down below. Happy deck building. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Goodbye.